Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in Bilbao right now. I've just watched Manchester United lose the Europa League Final to Spurs. I wasn't going to do anything. I wasn't going to do a video on this. I was going to wait till I got home tomorrow. But guys, if I tell you guys the journey I've done to get here, it's insane. So here's my raw, unfiltered, unedited, just pure emotional views minutes after full time. That is gut-wrenching, and that is awful. That is awful. We have just given Spurs their first trophy in 17 years. We've just given Spurs their first trophy in 17 years. First and foremost, congratulations to Spurs. Congratulations to Ange. 17th place in the league. 17th. Spurs are not a great footballing team. They're not a great footballing team. Let's just call it what it is. But the simple reality here is that Amorim has been outcoached by Ange. You guys know where I stand on Amorim. I think all season I've kind of been on the record saying I think he needs reinforcements in the summer. I think he took over a situation that was less than ideal, taking over a team that had never played the kind of system he was trying to deploy. Already a weak squad, losing players in January, not replacing them. But look, man, you also have to be real here. Today, we're playing against the Spurs team that, first and foremost, aren't great. Defensively, they're not great. They're 17th in the league. And they're missing their best creative players. Madison, Kulusevski, Bergvall. 3 of their best players right there, not in the lineup. That should be advantage to Manchester United. On the flip side, you look at the lineup we put out today. When everyone is fit, that's probably the closest resemblance of Ruben Amorim's team as you can get. Maybe Xerxes, if he's fit, he starts. Maybe that's the only one. But everyone else available, that's Ruben Amorim's strongest team. And yet, Ange Postecoglou today, a man who I think is leaving the club, even if he had lost today, he's leaving the club today as a winner, but he's leaving the club. He nullified Amorim's team. He absolutely nullified them. How many times today did we see Manchester United try and build out from the back? And the build-up today is the most alarming thing for me. Trying to build out from the back on either wing, whether it's Shaw to Dorgu or Mazraoui to, who was it? No, not Mazraoui, excuse me. Lenny Yoro, to Mazraoui at right wing back, and they just kind of get shoehorned into little corners on the side where eventually they end up either passing it out of bounds or they end up passing it off a Spurs defender, and you're just not getting anywhere. The only way Man United are able to progress the ball under Ruben Amorim about 8 months into his tenure is just lumping the ball long to the head of Harry Maguire or to the head of Rasmus Højlund or to the head of Joshua Xerxes. That's concerning. That's concerning. He's been in the job long enough that shouldn't be the one way we're able to kind of create chances. The last 25-30 minutes there, that consisted of Manchester United effectively just playing against a Spurs team, happy to sit deep in their block, which is something that they never do, ever. They're not known for doing that, and would probably rather jump off a cliff than play that way, except today they did. And they challenged Manchester United to break them down. They challenged them for 45 minutes, come break us down. And Manchester United, the only way they could carve out any sort of opportunity is by lumping up the ball to Harry Maguire, hoping for a miracle that way. That's so disappointing, guys. That's so disappointing. And again, I've been someone that's defended this manager, but today I actually think this loss is pretty strongly on him. Yeah, it's not all on him. Yeah, there's some players I want to talk about, but I'm sorry, today the biggest culprit is Ruben Amorim. And you guys know me, I'm not a guy who has agendas here. I'm not somebody who's been out to get him. I'm not someone who just... It's not even a question about the result either. It's not a question about losing the final, so he has to go. That performance right there is shocking. It's alarming, and it's actually raised alarm bells for me in that, is that something that improves if we get better players? There are things that will improve about us if we get better players. But some of the stuff I saw today, it's not a question of personnel. I actually think I'm looking at his system, and there are flaws in the way he coaches football. I'm sorry, today, that is on full display. Full display, right? That's not me saying, no, sack Ruben Amorim. I don't think the club are going to sack him. I think he's going to get next season. But I'm sorry, there are red flags today that have kind of emerged that maybe I was missing over the last few weeks. They're there now. I see them very, very fully. But I'm sorry, the players as well, too. Not all of them are off the hook, right? There were some amazing performances. Casemiro, my goodness. I actually think we've wasted a Casemiro masterclass. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant today. Didn't put a foot wrong. We wasted a Casemiro masterclass. Yoro, I thought Yoro was brilliant. I thought Dorgu played a pretty good game as well, too. I thought Højlund, although you guys know I don't rate him, I thought he did as well as he could, trying to kind of fight for loose balls up front. I thought Xerxes' cameo was pretty good. And then I look at the rest of them. Luke Shaw. That's the first thing on Urban Amorim, by the way. Introducing Luke Shaw for this final. This entire Europa League run has been with a set group of players. Luke Shaw has not been battle-tested with these guys. He hasn't gone to war with these guys. We got to the final without Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is out of shape. He's not fit. He's out of shape. Seriously, the first 15, 20 minutes, you could tell from the jump, Luke Shaw is not fit to play in this final. Not fit to play in this final. The goal as well, too. What is he doing? Him and Onana. What are they doing? Onana, how many times are you just going to stay glued on your line? Come claim the ball. Mazraoui, just not a wingback. It's so obvious. It's just not a wingback. The ball dies at his feet every single time he's playing high in advance. It's not his fault. He's just not a wingback. Amad Diallo, you guys know I love Amad Diallo to death. Spurs, again, brilliant from Ange. The tactic was very clear every time Amad got the ball. And he did find some success, but the tactic was very clear. Keep Amad on his right. Don't let him cut in. Don't let him get touches on his left. Keep him on his right. And Amad was largely frustrated by Udogie today. Yeah, he had some good moments here and there. That is unquestionable. But I'm sorry, for his standards and how much we've relied on him, Amad, that wasn't good enough today. Mason Mount, first half, non-existent. Just not effective enough. Just not effective enough whatsoever. And I think it raises major question marks about his future at the club, right? Yes, he's had good moments as of late, and I actually wanted to see him start. But for 60 million, 65 million pounds, these are the kinds of games that you're expecting Mason Mount, who, by the way, is a Champions League winner, a guy who's played in a Euro final, he's played in FA Cup finals. You should be experiencing these kind of games. You should be someone we're kind of leaning on. Non-existent today. Non-existent. And then Bruno. I mean, look, Bruno has made me do a complete 180 on him this season. I think he's had his best year for Man United. And I'm not going to completely rewrite his season. He's been amazing for us, our best player this year. But tonight, that is a stinker from Bruno Fernandes. He's one of the worst players on the pitch tonight, and I'm not being harsh by saying that. I think that the physical battle between himself and Bissouma and Pape Sarr and Bentancur was too much for him. I was somebody who wanted to see him start from the beginning in central midfield. Bench Ugarte, let Bruno kind of play deeper with Casemiro, allow us to get more attackers. But today, the physicality from Spurs was too much for Bruno to handle. How many times did you see Bissouma kind of nudge him off the ball, intercept his loose passes? Then you kind of see Bruno revert to his hero ball, where he just starts lumping balls forward, trying these diagonals that are just too short. It was horrible from Bruno Fernandes today. And it's a shame because this season, I think he's proved so many of his doubters wrong. But tonight, I'm sorry, that's not what the best of the best do. That is not a performance from one of the best players in the world. He might very well be that, but on the basis of tonight, that's not what the best players in the world do. The best midfielders, the likes of Modric's, the likes of the Xavis, the likes of the João Neves. I'm not like those kinds of players would not revert to that kind of performance when things get difficult. And I'm sorry, that's not me trying to rewrite Bruno's season here. I still think he's a top player. But tonight, that is alarming from Bruno Fernandes. That's, again, another player that we need to lean on a night like this. Awful. Amorim, the substitutions. It was so obvious at halftime that Luke Shaw was a mess. Mazraoui was being nullified out there, and Mason Mount was practically invisible. So why did it take you until 70-something minutes to make the substitutions everybody knew needed to happen? I'm trying so hard not to yell. I'm not trying to make a fool out of myself outside. We'll make another video tomorrow, by the way. I'll probably go on stream, but everybody knew the substitutions that needed to be made. Højlund, as always, on an island up front, contributing to nothing. Mason Mount, non-existent. Mazraoui needed to be substituted. And Kobbie Mainoo, last season's man of the match in the FA Cup final, introduced in the 90th minute of tonight's final. That's not to take any responsibility away from Kobbie Mainoo, not at all. He has had a difficult season. But I'm sorry, again, that's another red flag for me. That Kobbie Mainoo, who is a talented player, who 12 months ago was starting a Euro final for England, and was the name on every Manchester United fan's lips, is still, do not get it twisted, don't let revisionism hurt you, a top talent. 7 minutes of extra time, of injury time, is what he got tonight. That's unforgivable. Amorim, right? Like, he's going to have a lot of things to do next season. But getting the best out of the best talent at the club is part of your job as well, too. And he has not been able to get the best out of Kobbie Mainoo. I'm sorry, right? His system is not so 100% foolproof that, if this guy doesn't fit out the door, a player like Kobbie Mainoo, you have to make room for a player like that. And it's so disappointing to see a guy who last year was so crucial to us winning a trophy play almost no part in it whatsoever. Xerxes, you saw him come on. immediately changed the game in terms of his link up, in terms of occupying defenders. Garnacho, again, brought a spark. We didn't have a shot on target today, ladies and gentlemen, until the 72nd minute. It came through Alejandro Garnacho, right? Why were they introduced so late? I didn't have a problem with them coming off the bench, but why so late? Everybody in the stadium knew Manchester United needed a spark off the bench. And we watched Ruben Amorim for 70-something minutes with his hands in his pockets, looking at the ground, hoping for the ground to swallow him up. The game needed to be changed and he couldn't do it on time. I'm sorry, today, look, you guys know how I feel about the squad, and it doesn't change. It's not a great squad, but that's not a great squad that we played against either. It's not, and it's a depleted squad as well too. It's Spurs, for God's sake. It's Spurs. It's Spurs. I feel like I'm going crazy the amount of times I'm saying it. It's Spurs. What a dog shit season, man. What an absolutely dog shit season. 17th place in the league, or on course for it. Watch how Old Trafford is going to be a cemetery this weekend against Aston Villa. Watch. We're going to finish 17th in the league. No European football. And a loss to the biggest bottlers in Europe in a final. Congratulations to Spurs. Congratulations to Ange. But Manchester United, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Ruben Amorim, man, I mean, you're going to get next season, but my goodness, from day dot, the pressure is on you now. The pressure is on you. I mean, if it wasn't already, right, you practically threw away the league this season. You and Manchester United, I'm not going to take blame away from Ineos, from the players, but the club effectively threw away the league. 10 games left to play to focus on the Europa League. All chips in the Europa League basket. Everything relies on the Europa League. And that's the performance in the final that you gave us. Please spare me the fact that they had all the possession in the second half. Come on, man. Come on. We're all smarter than this on this channel, right? Ange allowed Man United to have the ball and said, break us down, I dare you. And all we could do was lump the ball up to Harry Maguire. Yeah, there were a few half chances at the end, right? Again, just crossing and lumping balls into the box and hoping for something to happen. Come on, man, that's not football. That's not the football that we signed up for when we hired this manager. I'm so sorry. Again, I'm not trying to overreact here, and I'm not trying to say, oh, fire Ruben Amorim, right? But my goodness, the pressure is on next season from day dot. There's no getting around that. If Manchester United do not start next season like a house on fire, like everything that we need to see is on full evidence from day one, this guy won't be in the job for very long. And I don't think that's a hot take to say that, right? This is a winner go home business. Hire the best in charge. And if this guy's not the best in charge, it's going to become very evident, very clearly, if it's not evident already. For his sake, he's got to hope that recruitment is the biggest thing for him, right? Oh, just get me my players and the system's gonna work. For the longest time, I've been willing to kind of accept that as well too. Ride the storm, as Liban would say. Tonight though, I'm sorry, recruitment, player quality compared to that Spurs team cannot be your ultimate argument. I'm sorry, guys. That is not a great Spurs team. I'm looking at the players. Richarlison at left wing, Brennan Johnson at right wing. No disrespect to any of these guys. I'm not trying to call them scrubs, but don't tell me these guys are better players than the ones Man United have. Don't. They're 17th in the league. They're 17th in the league. It's not like even if we were playing like Fulham or Bournemouth or Brighton or those teams, they're 17th in the league. My goodness, one of the worst defensive teams in the Premier League over the last 2 seasons. And they kept us from scoring a goal. And I think that's the 16th time this season that Manchester United have failed to score a goal. It's the 31st time this season that Man United went behind in a game. I'm stuck in Bilbao. Me and Cam have a train to Madrid in like 2 hours. Guys, we woke up at 2 a.m. this morning. 2 a.m. to go fly to Nantes in France, to then go fly to Madrid, to then take a 4-hour bus ride to Bilbao today, 2 hours before the game. And now we're going to repeat that whole process. The shit that we do for this football club. No one can ever watch my videos and question how much I love this football club. I'm sorry, it's impossible. It's impossible. No one can call me a grafter. No one can call me anything. I love this football club to death. But today, and this entire season, has just been one sick, putrid dream that I cannot wait to wake up from. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up from it. I don't have to see. I have to see one more game. But next season, man, if we don't start the season off on fire, the guy's gonna be gone, and we're gonna be looking at the whole situation, thinking, did we just repeat the same mistake that we did with Ten Hag a year ago? I don't know where this club goes from here. Good night.